Hello there, everybody. My name is Waddles. I hope you're doing well. So, in my Let's Play, I've been exploring the ocean quite a bit. While exploring the ocean, I'm beginning to learn some things that are useful and some things that are not useful. Today, I'm going to focus on those useful things. Today, I've got 5 tips for you that will help you when you're exploring an ocean. After hearing out my tips, go down below and leave one more tip for me. So beginning off right here at tip number 1, that is, of course, a seaside base. You will probably want to set up a base camp along the ocean, especially if you are planning on raiding the shipwrecks and the ruins and stuff, because your inventory is going to fill up pretty fast. So what I'm talking about here is basically a place to dump your stuff. Now, of course, you're going to want to remember the coordinates to this area, because if you drop off 3 Heart of the Seas here and then lose it, you're going to be a little bit mad. So either build it by something that you will remember or just take note of the coordinates of this location. Now, you're going to want some chests here, probably a furnace and some crafting options here. And then you'll probably want a bed as well. If you don't care about losing your spawn point, I advise you to sleep in this bed before you explore, because if you come across drowned and they kill you, this will be a whole lot closer probably than your base. Of course, I guess, as long as your base isn't in the ocean you are exploring. Now, you might also want to put a spot for your horse to stay here, or even a donkey, because if you have a lot of items, you might probably want to move them back to wherever you live as well. So make sure you set up a camp and then come drop your stuff off often here, because you could die. Drowned with Trident are very strong, and it would suck to have to go and get all of your stuff back. However, on the note of drowned being very strong, if you come across a drowned with a trident, do not try to fight the thing until you have at least iron armor. Or at least that's what I say. I'm not very good at combat, so I need to wait till I have iron armor for sure. Drowned with tridents are really OP. They can kill you very easily. So I'll pull my armor back off, and then I'll flip into survival just to show you exactly how dangerous this guy with the trident is. Of course, I'm going to keep my damage, and look at that, half of my health, 2 hits, and most of my health is gone. That is super not cool, and probably not something you're going to want to deal with, so I advise that you wait till you have some armor to take on these guys. The trident is really cool, and of course you want one, but you're going to want to be a little careful about this, and you will want to go into the ocean, especially if you're drowned hunting, with a good sword as well. Don't try and approach the drowned with the trident thinking you can kill him with a wooden sword. It's really just a bad idea. You're going to regret that. However, while still on the topic of drowned, if you are trying to fight them, lure them to the surface. Do not fight drowned in the depths of the ocean unless you have pretty built gear. Drowned will lock onto you from pretty far away and pathfind their way over to you. That means if you find them deep in the ocean and you swim up to the surface, they will follow you up there. If you're fighting them up here, you have oxygen, of course, as well as escape options. Let's say I'm getting overwhelmed by this drowned, or maybe there's a few. I can jump into a boat, and they stop caring. They don't care about you, and you can just get away, eat your food, recover your health, whatever you're trying to do, and then you can jump back in the water, and they'll lock back onto you, swim back up to wherever you are. Now, this is going to work the same with land as well, so if you're by an island and you're getting overwhelmed, jump out of the water and onto the island here, and the drowned will stop caring, just like that. Now, I don't know, that seems a little buggy, so I don't know if that's necessarily going to always be a thing, but at least as of 1.13, that works, so definitely use that. Honestly, at this point, this is almost more of a general exploration tip now, but banners. Use banners on maps to mark cool things. So you can see right here on this map, I have a banner marking something. If I go over to wherever that banner is, I will find something that I found right here, a shipwreck, that I'll always remember the location of. Now, this is super easy to do. Let's say I wanted to mark this island right here because it was really interesting. All I need to do is throw a banner on it and then right-click on it with the map, and it is marked forever. Now, bonus points if you want to go ahead and name the banners as well, because then you have a detailed guide to everything in the ocean, or I guess really the world around you. Now, banners can be placed under the water as well, which is nice, and depending on how you place them, you can take advantage of the little air pocket that they create, so that's kind of cool. My final tip of the day has to do with air pockets. Take advantage of things that will give you oxygen under the water. If you have some magma blocks, throw some down outside of a shipwreck. Now be careful where you're placing them because they could trap you under the water. However, if you crouch on these things, you will not take any damage. If I'm over in survival and I'm crouching, I'm not taking any damage and I have full oxygen. Same with doors, except you don't need to crouch with doors. You will have air. So if you take some doors with you when you're exploring, you have a too wide little air pocket that is insanely useful. However, magma blocks can be found all over the ocean, so it's up to you if you want to waste a bunch of wood on doors or if you want to try and pick up some magma blocks and just remember to crouch. Either way, though, setting these up outside of your... Excuse me. Either way, setting these things up outside of whatever you're trying to explore is going to make exploring those things a whole lot easier. You won't need to surface for oxygen. You can just go back to whatever your little air source is. Again, you could be using banners even for this little air pocket. And so, those are my 5 ocean exploration tips. I hope you enjoyed these tips. I hope you learned something from one of them. Maybe they'll help you on your adventures. But go ahead and go down below and leave me one more. What is one tip that I should know when exploring the ocean? I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe. And if you want to support me directly, go ahead and check out my Patreon link. You'll get access to the Waddles and Friends server, as well as some other exclusives like early content and exclusive content. But thank you so much for watching this video. My name is Waddles, and I will see you next time. Go have a good day. Goodbye, everybody.